Afternoon. My name is Tom Romaine, and I would like to call the Thursday, March 4th, 2021 Tree Advisory Commission to order. And then moving down the agenda to item 2.1, I would entertain a motion so that we can receive and order the public notice.
Motion.
Okay, motion by Taylor Shank, and need a second.
Second.
A second by Ellen Van Cura. And all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, the motion passes. My name is Tom Romaine. I'm the chair of the Tree Advisory Commission. To my right is Ellen Van Cura, Commissioner, and Taylor Shank, Commissioner, and welcome, Taylor.
Thank you.
Would the advisors please introduce themselves?
Tom Schmitz from the Park and Recreation Department.
Joe Stadheim, City Engineer.
Jeff Huffman, Public Works Superintendent.
Okay, thank you and welcome. Moving down, item 4.1, approval of agenda. And I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda as distributed or are amendments in order.
Motion.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Old business, item 6.1, the 2021 city reimbursement programs and budget updates.
Mr. Chair, it looks like we jumped over approval of last meeting minutes. Be 5.1.
Any questions by the commissioners on the budget documents? Oh, did I miss the meeting minutes? Yeah. We'll come back to the meeting minutes in a second. Any questions
Okay.
on the
Mr. Chair and Commissioners, the budget before you today includes the 2020 carryover amount that was approved by the City Council. That carryover amount was $4,809.65. Also included within the budget was the reimbursement from the home show booth rental from last year's home show that was brought back into the budget as well. So as of right now, we're sitting at a unused budget amount of $12,109.65.
questions from commissioners?
Can I ask questions?
Sure.
May I? Tom, is the purview of this commission to recommend places that need trees or to authorize some of our budget if there's a need for more trees or beautification? Just
Commissioner Van Cura, Chair Romaine, and members. Certainly, it would be appropriate for this commission to recommend anything related to the urban forestry programs here in our city. As you may be aware of, the Herman Heights Park reforestation plan of trees and shrubs after the renew and retaining wall projects were completed this past year. That bid opening is scheduled for later this month. We certainly will bring that information to you. And, it would be very appropriate for you to recommend some of your funds be directed to that project. I know you had a carryover from last year, and that was $4,800. And it would be very appropriate for you to recommend expending some of your funds towards that reforestation project up at Herman Heights Park.
Well, how does that work? The trees are recommended by an expert forester and all that, and the types, right?
Yeah, the plan's already been approved.
Right.
And
Is the budget going to cover is the budget for Herman going to be enough
We don't know. We
complete?
won't know till bid opening.
Okay, then
Yeah.
we,
Yeah.
yeah, so we should look at this next meeting or something, or,
Yes, and if you want to place something specific on a future agenda, mention that to Chair Romaine, and he'll mention it to the Park and Rec Department to get it on that agenda.
I think it's worthwhile to,
Well, I agree with you. I think
Yeah.
it's a premature discussion at
yeah,
this point.
yeah, I don't have a feeling for this kind, no,
Oh,
not
it's
that we
okay,
can
that's
discuss
fine,
it,
but,
yeah.
you know, when the bid opening occurs and if there's
Right,
a need
right.
for funds, we could talk about that on an
Yeah, that's what
upcoming meeting, so. And, okay, and I welcome Commissioner Dearson.
Thank you.
Approval of the minutes of the 2021 January Tree Advisory Commission meetings. And I apologize for getting that out of order, but any questions or amendments needed for the minutes from January?
May 6th is the next time. Shrubs along the border of the park to reduce.
An amendment or a correction, Commissioner Vancouver?
No, I was just reading
Okay.
out loud how there, some other things have been not put in the original plan, but like privacy shrubs for maybe the people that live around, I don't know, that's what I was reading out loud to myself, that weren't included in the current program. Is that right, Tom, or not right?
Is there an inaccuracy or something
No,
we need to?
no,
Okay.
no.
Yeah, I think we should just be approving the minutes with this item here.
Yeah, okay. January 2021 minutes, Tree Commission.
Second.
Second?
Second.
Commissioner Dearson? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. The minutes have been approved. Moving back into old business, item 6.2, PUC update or news. Mr. Nelson is not here. I received an email this afternoon from Madsen, looking for information on who her contacts were. I did respond to her that I would be very looking forward again to working with her on the upcoming April PUC insert. So that's the only news I have on the PUC update, other than its draft copy has been sent to Derek Nelson and on the Madsons. Questions, comments? All right, well. Okay, Emerald Ash Borer update or news. I would give that to the engineering department and the public works department, as they're heavily involved in that.
Engineering department has no updates.
The street department, we probably got like 12 to 15 stumps that are left to take out for, you know, the project, but otherwise, we're pretty well caught up on it.
Good.
Okay, any questions for city engineer or the public works commissioner? Item 6.4, Buckthorn update and Conservation Corps crew. Commissioner Vancouver.
Oh, well, now with the melt, we'll be able to, you know, start working again. Right or wrong, where we take all the buckthorn out, and pretty soon we've got a whole area of garlic mustard. It just takes over. So what right now with some of these real big trees, instead of just cutting down the buckthorn, see whether whether that is a retardant, where the buckthorn trees we leave up are not going to interfere with, seeding of garlic mustard. Anybody have a comment about that? I mean, invasives are so, Dane's rocket, garlic mustard are just trying to go everywhere. Is there any budget to reforest the bike trail?
Okay, well, we might be able to make an adjustment in our budget, but I don't know, is there a need for reforestation on the public lands and along the bike trail? Or on private lands, would that fit into one of our existing programs?
Well, unfortunately, the quarter of the bike trail is owned by the trucking company, and they didn't want us to take any buckthorn down, but Tom just said you have to get rid of those trees with 1,000 berries. So we're doing it, and they've seen us and left us alone. Us meaning Brenda and I. So there's still enough on the bike trail that we can concentrate on the female trees. But within the ash trees there's going to be a lot more deforestation with the ash tree that are down there.
Okay, well, it might work out best if we had a proposal that we could kind of take a look at and then see if it fits into any of our city tree programs, or is it something else we'd have to put together?
See, my expertise has only been I know what buckthorn looks like, I know how to safely take it out.
Uh-huh.
And I know what garlic mustard and Dame's rocket, and I know how to safely take that out. But I don't know anything about reforestation. When we had the volunteer corps guy who, planted trees and took the tree survey, there was a few left over, and Park and Rec came just plopped like a crab apple somewhere, and so I don't know anything about reforestation.
Okay,
And who is the expert on, you are the expert on reforestation? Yeah.
I can speak a little bit to the invasive side of thing, because if you're just doing little patches at a time with garlic mustard and buckthorn both, you're just going to be spinning your wheels unless you take large amounts of that direct area, because it's just going to seed right back in.
Oh, yeah, the garlic mustard's horrible.
Right. So
Yeah.
as far as reforestation goes, you can reforest it, but the invasives are going to outcompete it almost right away.
Well, then let's just stay with,
Are you, and this is just my ignorance, having not been on the commission very long, are we treating the buckthorn with anything after we cut it, or are we just cutting it? With like
absolutely
herbicide?
not.
Yeah.
No, we don't want 10 more buckthorn shoots.
No, with like herbicide or anything.
Yeah.
After stump.
No spraying, blotting it with 50%
Okay.
glyphosate.
There may be some more shrub type options that might be a little bit better off in replacing in order to outcompete garlic mustard and buckthorn. But as far as reforestation from a tree perspective, I mean, garlic mustard is a fickle thing. And then unless you completely eliminate it off that direct site,
Right,
it's just, you're going to have a constant battle with it.
yeah.
Same with buckthorn. I mean,
Yeah,
that's, so
yeah.
I think you'd be better off focusing on taking a larger area of concern and eliminating. If you're really going to try and change it, you're going to have to try and get as much out of there as possible before we start looking at spending money on reforestation.
There's only me as a volunteer and one paid. That works. So anyway, yeah, we did 371 hours last year of taking out buckthorn, so. But,
getting back to what we do as a commission, we are an advisor to
Right.
the city council and the city departments as well as that. So do we want to give them any advice? You know, should they be looking at a need for reforestation along the bike trail? Or do we know that there's a need for reforestation?
No, I
along the
don't,
bike
I
trail?
don't
Okay,
even
so-
know that, because I don't know that.
So would it be reasonable for us to go look at this?
Sure, with people that know what they're looking for.
Okay, so when we're done with this meeting, maybe we can pick a time.
Oh,
where-
yeah, now it's decent weather. Maybe it's
interested
not below
commissioners could
zero.
go take
Yeah,
a
oh,
look.
I love, yeah,
Okay,
just
well,
itching to,
let's have that discussion.
yeah, take a
Following the
tour
meeting.
of the
Okay,
concern, area of concern. Yep.
yeah,
Basically goes from 7th to 16th south.
all right. Anything else on Buckthorn or other than what the
No,
reforestation went?
the last, in January, the snow got too deep, and, you know, you can
All right,
kick back 6 inches, but you don't want to kick back, you know, it gets.
yeah, I
yeah.
understand. It's tough to
No,
work
but
in a couple of feet of snow.
my batteries are charged, I've got fresh chains.
Okay, any questions on
Any
the,
volunteers, you know, if you know any citizens that. So,
okay, moving on under old business, 6.5, at the utility billing informational inserts, I think we've addressed that already on item 6.2. Item 6.6, big tree contest update. Does anybody have any business to bring forward on that, other than we've already picked a species for the year?
Chair Romaine and members, the only update I would have is that we will be doing a media blitz in the next month or so, promoting this and the normal program and deadline.
is Arbor Day in April, or when is Arbor Day, May?
It's normally in April.
Last Friday in April.
And who picks that, is it like scouts or school kids, or?
Park and Recreation Department does an Arbor Day program in conjunction with the library and the mayor. But we did not last year because of the virus, and we may not
Do it
again
this
this year due to the virus.
Right.
But we're researching virus-friendly Arbor Day activities, so stay tuned.
Okay, moving on, item 6.7, Tree City US update.
Thank you, Chair Romaine and members. The only update there is that the data was inputted, and my understanding is it's in the process of being reviewed by the Arbor Day Foundation and the state of Minnesota. I'm assuming that they would grant us Tree City status again for last year, 2020, and that's all I have to report.
Okay. Questions on Tree City? All right, moving into new business, 7.1, Minnesota DNR Shade Tree Grant, and that was just brought to our attention a couple days ago, so
Yeah.
would you give us an update on that?
Sure, just a little update from staff, Chair Romaine and members, is that I think we're all aware of the fact that, I mean, it came out in the packet. The deadline is just a couple weeks away, and staff has no ability whatsoever to put together an application and get it through city council and so on. But it is something we should consider looking at for next cycle.
Okay. I was wondering, has anybody been in touch with the Urban and Community Program and Division of Forestry to see if the present grant program that we have would influence whether or not we would be able to get a grant this year?
My office hasn't had any time to explore that option. We're too busy with other stuff to take on. We didn't even.
I was kind of concerned about even if we had been notified of this on Monday, February 1st, it's a pretty short timeline to get a grant put together in like 5 weeks. So,
Yeah, we didn't have any time to really research the eligibility requirements or anything, but we can certainly work on that as we have time for the next cycle.
Yeah, we will, staff will touch base with the Minnesota Department of Natural Resources on this program and the cycle and our eligibility given past
yes,
grants.
and many grant programs, if you've got a grant, say in 2020, your chances of getting one in 2021 are pretty slim sometimes. I know the fire grants, where if you got a grant last year, you could put in another grant application this year, but you went to the end of the line. So, okay, well, let us know what you find out, and maybe next year. Any other questions on the grant? Okay, item 7.2, bat disease impacts on tree removals. And that was a question I had in that, I saw on some of the street projects and some of the highway projects that they were tree removals were being affected by trying to be bat friendly. And
Yes, Mr. Chair and Commissioners. Many, especially when we get into projects that have state and or federal monies involved with them, we have to comply with the Endangered Species Act, which takes into account the long-eared bat and their nesting periods. So a lot of those requirements require us to have the trees removed during the wintertime or non-nesting season. I believe that begins in April, so a lot of the tree removals need to either happen in the winter, or in the case of a project that the city is going to do in 2022, we are taking care of it in 2021 just to be up ahead of it, and so we don't have those concerns with the project or have to work around our letting dates and construction start dates and things like that just for the trees. So we try to stay on top of it by taking care of them earlier or scheduling the project in such a manner that we avoid those nesting seasons. Because tree removals are the first thing that we do on projects generally, and if we are in nesting season, that really delays things, so.
my understanding, and it's kind of a dated information, but that those guidelines of removing trees were based on presence of bat populations, and in this part of the state, we don't have any.
Yeah, it's been, at least for our projects, the standard practice is even if they're not there, we have to anticipate that they will be there. So we have to have that removal done prior, just in case one would come and nest, then that would delay the whole project at that point.
Okay. That was my question. Thank you for
Yep.
answering it. Any questions from other commissioners? Okay. All right. Any other business to come before the Tree Advisory Commission?
So bats are in decline because of disease?
Yeah, some bat species are prone to what's white nose disease.
White nose syndrome,
I've
yep.
seen
It's a fungal
pictures of
disease.
that, yeah.
And they
Everybody's got a white nose in the caves and all that, yeah.
They use trees for raising your young, and if you remove the trees during the bat reproduction times of the year, it might have an impact on the population, and they're trying not to reduce the population because white nose is a real big threat to the
Big
bat
threat to the-
populations.
yeah, okay. Thank you for information.
Any other questions? Any other business? Hearing none, then our next meeting will be May 6th at 4 p.m. here in the council chambers. And hearing no more business or items to bring before the Tree Commission, I declare this meeting adjourned. Thank you all. So who would like?